Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel once again. Today I have something just kind of slightly different for you. In case you've been noticing, I have been doing a ridiculous amount of shopping lately. I kind of fell off of my no-buy bandwagon and just kind of went crazy and bought everything. So I have another haul, but this one's a little bit different. I actually have gotten really into reading again. So I bought a bunch of books on discount from my work, and so I wanted to share with you guys kind of what I picked up, and I don't know. So if you're into reading, go ahead and keep watching, and then if you're not, don't worry about it. No hard feelings, just kind of click X, you know? So yeah, without further ado, I'll just hop into the books that I picked up recently. They all just fell over, all over the floor. Oh my gosh. Okay, now that I've completely picked everything up off of the floor, is it still in focus? I hope it's still in focus. If not, I'll have to refilm it later. It's hard to tell because I'm pretty much blind as a bat. Anyway, so without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright, so the first book that I picked up is The Way We Bared Our Souls by Willa Strayhorn. And then the cover just looks like this. Not gonna lie guys, the covers are mostly what draws me to a book. Just because why wouldn't it, you know? But this one is about basically this group of campers or people or just people gathered around a campfire basically. And they end up trading their biggest burden for someone else's in the campfire group, and then it's just kind of the story of how they each deal with carrying somebody else's burden basically. So I thought this was a really cool, it sounded like a really cool read, so I'm pretty excited to pick this up. Yeah, it says 5 teenagers gathered around a bonfire in the middle of the New Mexico desert. They don't know it yet, but they are about to make the biggest sacrifice of their lives. When they trade totems as a symbol of shedding and adopting one another's sorrows, they think it's only an exercise, but in the morning they wake up to find their burdens gone and replaced with someone else's. As the reality of the ritual unfolds, this unlikely group of 5 embark on a week of beautiful, terrifying experiences that all culminate in one perfect truth. To survive, your soul must be stronger than your burdens. So yeah, that one looks really exciting, and I'm really excited to jump into it. Threw it on the floor. The person in the apartment below me is probably this girl upstairs is they probably think that I just jump around up and down on the floor constantly, because I feel like I'm always dropping things, because in case you haven't noticed, I'm a complete and total klutz. So I'm always dropping things or falling off of things, so they probably think I'm just doing it to terrorize them, but you know, that's fine. It's casual. Okay, anyway, moving on. Enough rambling. The next book that I picked up is The Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty. And the cover was absolutely stunning. I just love this. It's like a crushed rose. But it says, imagine your husband wrote you a letter to be opened after his death. Imagine, too, that the letter contains his deepest, darkest secret, something with the potential to destroy not only the life you've built together, but the lives of others as well. And then imagine that you stumble across that letter while your husband is still very much alive. Cecilia Fitzpatrick has achieved it all. She's an incredibly successful businesswoman, a pillar of her small community, a devoted wife and mother. Her life is as orderly and spotless as her home. But that letter is about to change everything, and not just for her. There are other women who barely know Cecilia or each other, but they too are about to feel the earth-shattering repercussions of her husband's secret. So basically, it just seems super, super juicy. So I'm pretty excited to read this one. And then the next one that I have is The Kill Order by James Dashner, and this is the prequel to the Maze Runner series. And if you guys follow my blog at all, you know I've been reading the Maze Runner series. I finished the first 2, which is the Maze Runner and the Scorch Trials. And then we have The Kill Order, and I picked this up because they didn't have The Death Cure, which is the 3rd and final book of the series, at the bookstore that I was shopping at. So I picked this one up because it's still going to be interesting, and this is basically just the story of why the earth is in distress basically. So yeah, if you haven't read the Maze Runner series by James Dashner, I highly suggest that you do, because I've actually, you know, like started reading it so I can actually say how I feel about the author. But yeah, so The Maze Runner was pretty good. I did think I liked the movie better than the book. Sorry about it. But the second book, The Scorch Trials, was like really intense and really good, and like I could not put that book down. So I'm really excited to read this one, which is The Kill Order, and then also The Death Cure whenever I can get my hands on that book. Okay, so next I have A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Sounds like darkness, but that's fine. And I just thought the cover of this was absolutely stunning. And the reason I wanted to pick this up is actually because the Book of Life, which is like, I guess it's a trilogy, and it's like the third book, had like this little flyer just kind of laying around in the store, and I was like, that's an absolutely stunning like cover, and it just looks really interesting, and the title is super awesome. And then I found out it was like part of a trilogy, so I went and picked up the first one, which is this. And yeah, so it had an equally amazing cover, and then the back of it sounds pretty interesting, so let me read it for you guys. It says, deep in the heart of Oxford's Bodleian Library, Diana Bishop, a young scholar and the descendant of witches, unearths an enchanted alchemical manuscript. Wanting nothing to do with sorcery, she banishes the book to the stacks, but her discovery has set a fantastical underworld stirring, and soon a horde of demons, witches, and other creatures descends upon the library. Among them is the enigmatic Matthew Claremont, a vampire with a keen interest in the book. Equal parts history and magic, romance and suspense, A Discovery of Witches is a mesmerizing and addictive tale of passion and obsession that reveals the closely guarded secrets of an enchanted world. So this one looks pretty exciting as well. It's kind of got the vampires and the witches, and I've been watching American Horror Story lately, and I recently just started the Asylum one, which is like number 2, like season 2. So that means that I'm one step closer to the Witchcraft season 3. So yeah, I don't know. I've just been like super into that kind of thing. I think that's the point I was trying to make. But yeah, so I'm just super into like fantasy as of late, and so I'm excited to read this one. So the next one that I got was one that I've had my eye on for a long time, just because I think that the name of it is really cool, and then like the cover is awesome. But it's Life After Life by Kate Atkinson, and it looks like this. Like, come on. It's so pretty. Anyway, so it says, what if you could live again and again until you got it right? On a cold and snowy night in 1910, Ursula Todd is born, the third child of a wealthy English banker and his wife. She dies before she can draw her first breath. On that same cold and snowy night, Ursula Todd is born, lets out a lusty wail, and embarks upon a life that will be, to say the least, unusual. For as she grows, she also dies, repeatedly, in any number of ways. Ursula's world is in turmoil, and she faces the unspeakable evil of the greatest war in history. What power and force can one woman exert over the fate of civilization if only she has the chance? So like, what the? So I'm really excited to read about this, and yeah. Next, I have The Beginning of Everything by Robin Schneider, and it looks like this, and it says, Ezra Faulkner was supposed to be homecoming king, but that was before his girlfriend cheated on him, before a car accident shattered his leg, and before he fell in love with new girl Cassidy Thorpe. So basically, this is just a story all about starting over, it sounds like, so I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know, and I think the roller coaster thing is cool just because life is a roller coaster, guys. Like, there's ups and downs and swirls, and I'm just gonna stop talking. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to read this one as well. And then this one is like so dark and disturbing, and the cover is just kind of like creepy, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. So it is called Rot and Ruin by Jonathan Mayberry. And it's just like a really creepy zombie book, basically. So it says, in the zombie-infested world Benny has grown up in, teenagers must work once they turn 15, or they'll lose their food rations. Benny isn't interested in taking on the family business, but he reluctantly agrees to train as a zombie killer with his boring big brother Tom. He expects a dull job whacking zombies for cash. What he discovers is a vocation that will teach him what it really means to be human. As his worldview is challenged again and again by the lessons he learns from Tom, Benny is forced to confront another horrifying reality. Sometimes the most terrible monsters are human. Critically acclaimed author Jonathan Mayberry crafts a terrifying future vision of a zombie apocalypse brought to life through the rich emotional struggles of a teenager trying to find his place in a tumultuous new world. So basically, there's a bunch of different books. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy or if there's... I think there's more because it looks like there's 4 of them. But basically, this just sounds pretty awesome. It's kind of like The Walking Dead, I almost want to say, but I've never seen The Walking Dead, so I don't know. But it could just have, like, the only thing in common is zombies, but, like, whatever, because zombies are so cool, right? Okay, next, I picked this one up because recently I went and saw the new, like, Disney Cinderella, and this one is part of the Lunar Chronicles, and it is the first book, I'm pretty sure. Is there even, like, a first? I don't even know. I think it's the first. Anyway, so basically it is called Cinder. Sorry guys, my camera just cut me off and I'm not sure where I finished, so I'm just gonna restart reading it. Ready? Even in the future, the story begins with once upon a time. Humans and androids crowd the ruckus streets of New Beijing. A deadly plague ravages the population. From space, a ruthless lunar people watch, waiting to make their move. No one knows that Earth's fate hinges on one girl. 16-year-old Cinder, a gifted mechanic, is a cyborg. She's a second-class citizen with a mysterious past and is reviled by her stepmother. But when her life becomes intertwined with the handsome Prince Kai's, she suddenly finds herself at the center of an intergalactic struggle and a forbidden attraction. Caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal, she must uncover secrets about her past in order to protect her world's future. Because there is something unusual about Cinder, something that others would kill for. So basically it's a retelling of Cinderella, but like, it sounds so epic. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to read this one. And then another retelling. I think this is also another retelling of Cinderella. Can you tell what I'm super into lately? But this one's called Just Ella by Margaret Peterson Haddix. And it says, you've heard the fairy tale, a glass slipper, Prince Charming, happily ever after. Welcome to royal reality. Genealogy lessons, needlepoint, acting like a proper lady, and worst of all, a prince who is not the least bit interesting and certainly not charming. As soon-to-be Princess Ella deals with her newfound status, she comes to realize... There goes a book. She comes to realize she is not your majesty material. But breaking off a royal engagement is no easy feat, especially when you're crushing on another boy in the palace. For Ella to escape, it will take intelligence, determination, and spunk. And no ladylike behavior allowed. So this one just sounds super, like, epic. Like, come on. Like, she's like, I don't need no man. Except, plot twist, she does, because apparently she's in love with another man in the castle. So whatever, you do you. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to read that one as well. And then this one is We All Looked Up by Tommy Wallach. And I think it's the most epic, like, cover ever. It's just like a bunch of teenagers chilling here, looking up at the stars, and then there's a shooting star. And it's just epic, and it's like all black, and it's just really cool. So, basically what it says is, before ardor came, we let ourselves be defined by labels. The athlete, the slut, the slacker, the overachiever. But then we all looked up and everything changed. They said the asteroid would be here in 2 months. That gave us 2 months to leave our labels behind. 2 months to become something bigger than what we'd been, something that would last even after the end. 2 months to really live. The end. So this just sounds super epic, and I'm really excited about it. I promise we're getting towards the end, guys. I told you I went crazy. This one, I don't even know. It says Can't and Won't Stories by Lydia Davis. It says, because they said I was lazy, what they meant by lazy was that I used too many contractions. For instance, I would not write out in full the words cannot and will not, but instead contracted them to can't and won't. So I just thought that this looked really cool. I have no idea what it's about. It doesn't really say what it's about. I think it's just like a collection of like short stories, basically. But I'm really excited to read this and find out what it's all about. So that's that. Alright, another thing that I have is Picture Me Gone by Meg Rosoff. And I just think this is the cutest cover too. And it says, what happens when you ask a question and don't want to know the answer? Myla is exceptionally good at solving puzzles. She sees clues that no one else notices. In a photograph, a pair of muddy shoes, an abandoned dog. When she and her father travel from London to New York in search of their missing friend, Myla pieces together a story that everyone else has overlooked. But as the truth begins to emerge, she discovers more that she wants to know about the I read this wrong. Okay, it says, but as the truth begins to emerge, she discovers more than she wants to know about the one person she trusts most. So, there's that. Okay, 3 more, guys, I swear. It says Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Eliar Sains. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. But it says Dante can swim, Ari can't. Dante is articulate and self-assured. Ari has a hard time with words and suffers from self-doubt. Dante gets lost in poetry and art. Ari gets lost in thoughts of his older brother who is in prison. Dante is fair-skinned. Ari's features are much darker. It seems that a boy like Dante, with his open and unique perspective on life, would be the last person to break down the walls that Ari has built around himself. But against all odds, when Ari and Dante meet, they develop a special bond that will teach them the most important truths of their lives and help to find the people they want to be. But there are big hurdles in their way, and only by believing in each other and the power of their friendship can Ari and Dante emerge stronger on the other side. So I kind of love this just because obviously it's won a lot of awards, but so whatever. But I think it's cool because like usually like stories are like a guy and a girl fall in love and they're like BFFs and like, you know, but this one it's like 2 best friends, and I don't know, I just think it's super cool. So I'm really excited to read this one, especially because it's won like 600 awards. So there's that. And then this one it's called Me Since You by Laura Weiss. Pretty sure that's how you say her last name. Look at this really sad girl and her scarf, but she looks really sad. Anyway, so, excuse me. It says before and after. That's how Rowan Areno sees her life now. Before, she was a normal 16-year-old, a little too sheltered by her police officer father and her mother. After, everything she once believed has been destroyed in the wake of a shattering tragedy, and every day is there to be survived. If she had known on that Friday in March when she cut school that a random stranger's shocking crime would have traumatic consequences, she never would have left campus. If the crime video never went viral, maybe she could have saved her mother, grandmother, and herself from the endless replay of heartache and grief. Finding a soulmate in Eli, a witness to the crime who is haunted by losses of his own, Rowan begins to see there's no simple, straightforward path to healing wounded hearts. Can she learn to trust, hope, and believe in happiness again? So basically, it's just so sad, it sounds like, but that's okay. So that one also looks extremely good. Obviously, I think they all looked good or else I wouldn't have paid for them, correct? So I have one last book, and this is the one that I'm like the most excited about. It's like so ridiculously exciting to me. Ugh. Are you guys ready? Sorry about the lighting, BT dubs. I'm using like natural lighting, and apparently it's cloudy here in Arizona today, so it's like fading in and out and in and out. But that's fine because I was just really excited to film this with you guys, or film this for you guys. So basically, I got this, and it's Living Language Dothraki. So basically, if you don't watch Game of Thrones, you should, but only if you're like older because it's really, really inappropriate. If you're younger, wait a couple years and then pick it up. But basically, I'm so excited, and it comes with like this little workbook in here. Ooh, okay, first off, it comes with the instructional course compact disc. So it has a CD in here that like teaches you the pronunciation and like, you know, all that kind of cool stuff. There's an app that I can download to learn Dothraki. And then there's this little book, and it has like all the words in it, and like, you know, cool. And then at the back of it, there's like vocab and dialogue. And it's really exciting. I'm so pumped about it because I'm totally gonna learn Dothraki. So then like I'll be sitting there watching Game of Thrones, right? And I'll be able to actually understand what they're saying instead of having to read the subtitles. Like, I'm just saying, guys, that's the most nerdy, epic thing that could ever happen. And I feel like they need to make one of those like living language things for Elvish from Lord of the Rings. Because in case you guys didn't know, I'm like super into Lord of the Rings as well. I got a tattoo actually from Lord of the Rings, so ta-da! Cool stuff. But yeah, so basically that is everything. And if you guys liked this, give it a thumbs up. If you're super into reading and you know you enjoyed it, I guess, give it a thumbs up. If you are a super nerd like myself and are into like really nerdy Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, Star Wars, I don't know, everything, basically all of the above, give it an even bigger thumbs up because why not? And yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed, I don't know how much of like book related things I'm gonna put on this channel, but if you just enjoyed, you know, generally just hanging out with me, then that's cool, so subscribe, because why not? And until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye!